Welcome, friends. Everybody can hear us? Yes, perfect. Welcome. It is time. It is finally time for El Hijo to be released. Tonight, depending on what time zone you're in, release will be happening in an hour, 1 hour from now. El Hijo, A Wild West Tale will be live on Steam, on Google Stadia, and on GOG. And we're here today with Yannis and Maria from Honig Studios in Berlin.
Hello.
Guys, why don't you introduce yourselves real quick?
Maria, go ahead. You first.
What? It's always a ladies' thing, huh? Isn't it? Well, hello everybody. My name is Maria Grau-Stenzel. I'm the creative producer or one of the creative people at Honig Studios. I was in charge dealing with the team and creating a story, and we were working really closely together and trying to make this wicked journey happening.
Perfect.
Yeah, hi, I'm Yannis. I'm the technical producer of Honig at Honig. I was working a lot with, between the programmers and the level designers, trying to bring everything together and make sure that we're technically also on the same path.
Awesome. That's perfect. I'm here today with Felix. You've seen him last week. He is, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, well, my name is Felix. I am from QA here at Handy Games. I am the lead tester for El Hijo. So I've played this game a bunch and worked together with Yannis and Maria to bring you the best version possible of this game.
Yeah.
So we can all enjoy it in 1 hour time.
Yeah, and I'd say we'll get into it. If you've been here last week, we already played a little bit up towards the cemetery level. Yeah. And I say we'll go on from here and talk a little bit about the game.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, this stream is supposed to be like a little Q&A session with the devs. So
absolutely.
If you guys have any questions, just post them in chat. We will forward them to them. So we can talk about the game, the people behind the game, the journey to releasing the game now. And so if you have questions, just fire away. And I think I will play, Consti will forward your questions.
Yes.
And we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Well, my first question is, developer from Berlin in Germany. How do you decide to make a sort of Western style game? What's the inspiration there?
I think we always make schnick, schnack, schnuck, and then you start. No.
Okay. It came kind of naturally in a sense, the inspiration at least from movies and from comic books that we've been reading. We're multinational here. Maria is half Spanish. The artist is from Colombia. I'm Greek. The other person is Italian. So we do miss the sun a lot.
I can relate.
Don't we all?
So being in cold, snowy Berlin, bringing the West was, kind of came natural to us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you need to imagine we have been spending 4 years in the sun now, huh?
Yeah, in a way, yeah. Awesome. Well, that's cool. And then, obviously the next question leading up to that is, it's not, there have been child protagonists in games before, right? That's not, a completely new thing, but it's still unusual, I would say. The majority of games feature adult characters as playable characters. Why did you go for a kid as a main protagonist in the game? What was the plan with that?
I think what is really something really special is that it's a stealth game and it's a kid.
True,
like usually
yes.
in a traditional stealth game, you have a lot of violence, you have a lot of people slaughtering each other, or you need to be able to proceed somehow within the game. Like if you can't go any further, you kill someone. But in our game, it's a non-violent stealth game. So it felt rather natural to go with a child character because yeah, of course, the kid can kill someone if maybe the adult is sleeping, but come on, if you have a look at a 6-year-old guy or a 6-year-old person, like the strength of it is not possible really to go there and kill someone with a knife if the person is an adult and has a certain body strength. So it felt rather natural to use the kid as a protagonist.
So the idea of making a non-violent stealth game came first, and then you decided, hey, it would make sense to make this protagonist a kid. Or was it the other way around?
I think it was a combination of everything. Watched, or Yanis actually came with the idea of watching the film El Topo, you remember, from Jodorowsky? And there is a child protagonist, and it's a really, really violent movie, actually. And then we said, oh, how about we do something that is non-conventional and do a kid's character. So it came, I think, at the same time.
Right. So, yeah, I remember that you had a movie as inspiration. That was this El Topo that you talked about, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I heard that before. Like I think in our what is the big event? The Indie Arena booth.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you already had the Indie Arena. There you go. Now you're caught.
should stick to playing.
Didn't pay attention. Maybe you want to turn up the in-game volume a little bit.
I can, but I wanted to finish the level real quick because if I go back to the main menu now, then.
Come on, Felix,
right,
you
okay.
can do it blindfolded.
Sure. I see.
I'll just finish the level and then tune up the volume.
Yeah, okay. I see. Yeah, so we're already. I mean, for some of you who are watching, this might be a sort of a new territory that you're seeing here. We have already left them, or almost left the monastery, I should say. This is like the final outskirts.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
of the monastery, right?
It's right in front of the monastery.
And then we're moving on to the next section of the game.
We just made it out of the garden, like the labyrinth garden, which
Yeah.
is the last part of the monastery, and now we're making our way into the west.
Yeah. So that's something that I find very well made. So I guess, respect for that. The game features individual levels, right? They're strictly separated from each other, but at the same time, they're also interconnected, right? So it's not just levels that are getting more difficult for balancing sake, but they're also in a global sense, I guess, connected, and in a geographical sense connected.
Of course, you have a story that you're following, and you have the environment that is supposed to be quite real. You are in the monastery, and you should walk through the monastery as if you are inside a monastery. And if you're in a desert, you're also walking through a desert. You have different areas within that you are passing. It wouldn't make much sense if all of a sudden you're in the town and then you're back in the desert, you're back jumping back and forth, and you're in the monastery. So it follows the storyline of Eli, like on his way to find his mother.
Yeah. So and that I feel like that works very well. Also, the approach that you took with telling the story pretty much exclusively non-verbally, right? There's no dialogue in the game of any kind. There's emotional interaction between the characters, obviously, in the cutscenes as well as the gameplay itself. But there's no spoken text anywhere in the story, and it's still, you still found a way of sort of transmitting the story to the player in a understandable way, which I find, or which I would assume is probably a very difficult thing to do.
This was for us really important because we wanted to keep it in a way that it's all fairly easy to take it to different countries. If you have a lot of text and you have to read a lot, then it's like a lot of translation and everything. And we were thinking we wanted to focus on this really strong visual storytelling, like as it is in the film from Jodorowsky, you know, from El Topo. There's also a lot of visuals that are really strong, and they are driving the story forward. With El Hijo, it's also that we said we try to reach this visual storytelling, but it's difficult in that regard that you see you don't really have to get everything that is happening in there. Like every time you play the game, you will find different aspects of it, and you will find it more interesting as the more you walk around, the more you explore the environment. It's not really like, of course you can also play it in the way that you just walk through, you pass your challenges and so forth, but it's way nicer if you, oh, let's go a different route, or let's check out something else. It is yeah, that's how we wanted to do it. That it depends on how much time you spend with the game, you get more out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's different routes, like we said last time, I think also. There's different levels. There are levels that you can take different routes through the level. Like there are some that are straightforward, of course, because I mean, in some areas there's just one way you can go, but there's other areas where you can have a variety of different ways you're gonna pass through the level.
And as you progress through the games, the level tend to get bigger. There's a tendency for the levels to get larger and you know, more.
Yeah, the idea was to go with the environment. You know, like if you're in the monastery, the levels, and later on in the town, the levels are also smaller. But if you're in the desert, you have this vast size, you know, this big space, and we wanted the player to feel that as well. And you see with the kids, for example, you can interact with them, and it will unlock in the gallery. It will unlock artworks that you can see, or you can later on in the last level, the more kids you unlock, you will see different things, and that's why it's like purely that you can explore, but you don't have to. You can pass the game without having found everything.
Yeah. That's actually something that I'm personally interested in, is how people, and that goes for any game really, but how people will, you know, try to speedrun the game, for example. That's always something that I find personally super interesting, is where, you know, obviously there's the intended way of playing the game, and then people will find, you know, a myriad of ways to, well, that, you know, that's not how that works. Nope. We'll find a bunch of ways to skip parts of the level, maybe even find quicker routes that weren't even intended in the first place, and that's something that I find super interesting. So we'll see what that community comes up with. But yeah, for now, you know, obviously.
I'm sure, Felix, how fast can you pass it?
I'm not sure, I haven't tried. I know there's a few shortcuts that you can take that I've taken before.
For sure.
But I can tell you, I have not tried yet how fast I can go.
Well, we'll see.
Okay,
We'll see.
the challenge is on, huh?
But not now.
No, not right now.
No.
No, we don't want to show everything. Not yet.
No,
anyway.
don't spoil. No.
No, we're just having it in the background.
One thing that I would like to know, last stream, we've already seen one level where we played as the mother. And obviously, as a character and as a playable character, she works differently from how the boy works. All right, she has other abilities. The gameplay, the core gameplay is similar, right? Sneak around, don't get detected. But she has some skills. For example, she can vault over things which the boy can't do, and vice versa, right? He can do stuff that she can't do, and all that. Was that something that you intended from the beginning, to have multiple characters in the game, or did that just come as a part of the process?
Like, you go.
Yeah, this developed as part of the narrative, I would say, because we felt that there were moments in El Hijo's story that he would fall and hit his head, and we were wondering what happens after he hits his head. What does he do? Does he dream of his mom? So there we were in a creative discourse on will will it be a level where everything is wobbly because he's dizzy, or will it be a level where you play his mom? And
Come on, tell
then
them about the
also
2D Donkey Kong ideas.
yes, among which we had a few 2D that El Hijo falls in a barrel of wine that the monks are brewing, and then he is in a drunk state playing a Donkey Kong level. That was one of the ideas, which is not in the game though.
Don't get your hopes up.
Well,
Yeah, that's, obviously a natural process as well. Not every idea will make it into the final product, obviously. That's normal.
Sure.
No, but it was also, I think, to be a bit more diverse in the characters. Like we have a lot of male characters, the monks and the sheriffs and deputies, and we tried also to put a bit of diversity into the game, and it also felt natural with the story how it evolves, because I don't want to spoil too much, but we get into a certain situation where it made sense then to use a different character to also justify what is actually happening. Where that was one of the main questions that were asked: what is the mother actually doing while El Hijo is on the trip? And so we tried to establish that character a bit more, giving background information that she's not this weak person just giving up, like oh, why did she leave El Hijo in the monastery? What is she doing? And that's what we tried to give a bit more background, a bit more depth to her personality.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's something that I wondered when we played a very early version of the game here in the at the office. I wasn't clear. That's a question that I asked myself. So they're both trying to get back together. Why did she leave him in the first place?
Yeah.
But of course, if you play the final game and you see the whole story, you realize that there was a
There's
good
a
reason,
reason
a
for it.
good
Yep.
personal reason for her to, leave him at the monastery. She didn't, yeah. So, yeah, in that,
Yeah.
from that perspective, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah, and just chime in here real quick. For this level, for example, this is a whole different level than the other ones because we don't have like enemy NPCs here, because we just have to our only enemy is this sandstorm coming at every few seconds. That's why I just died without you seeing anybody. You cannot get hit by the sandstorm, so you have to take cover
Yeah,
every time before it reaches you.
yeah,
So there's a variety of levels where you just don't have to dodge NPCs, but you have different mechanics.
yeah. This generally, I feel like, well-placed level design where every now and again there will be a new mechanic introduced,
Yep.
be it a new toy or the winds or the mine carts or whatever, and the game will sort of ease you into how to use these things,
Yep.
and that I feel like is well made. I'm assuming that was a conscious decision of you guys to, when you introduce a new mechanic, the first puzzle that you have to use it on will be very easy and very straightforward, and then it gets more and more difficult as the levels progress, right?
Yeah, it's if you see it and analyze it, you are forced to use the new mechanics so you as a player understand it. We didn't want to go into tutorials each time
Yeah.
you get it, like you get a new toy or a new feature, and that's why the levels are set up the way that usually you need to use your new mechanic in order to understand what is wanted of you. So it feels more within the game rather forcing you, hey, listen, this is the new mechanic and now you need to do it in a like with a pop-up or anything. It
Yeah.
should feel more natural that you think, oh, this makes sense, and then you learn by doing it.
Yeah. I feel like
And-
we've seen this last stream. The toy soldier was a good example of that, where you find it, you realize, oh, okay, this is a new mechanic, a new toy that I unlocked. What do I do with it? And then the very first puzzle, you have to use it to progress, right? The very first monk, you can't use a.
No, you can't.
You can get.
No, you cannot get past it. No,
You cannot.
You
Okay.
need to
Yeah.
use- Yeah, you're correct.
Okay.
You're
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Or at least maybe there is a way that we don't
sure.
know of, but
Perhaps.
you know, then it's super difficult. But yeah, so the game almost forces you to learn this mechanic, but without letting you know.
Without forcing.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, I feel like that's very, very well made.
Mine level.
Yeah, and we're in the mines now. So the mines are part of the desert biome, I guess. And there's
Below the desert.
Yeah.
Is probably where it's located, huh?
yeah, and then we have a new.
Yeah, no, you need to imagine that we play a lot with light and shadow, you know, and if you are in the desert, it became really difficult to create lots of shadow because you are in the desert, there's lots of sun, huh? And so
I
we were
see.
saying, yeah, this is the disadvantage of the sunny levels and the 4 years in the sun. We were actually thinking, next time we do a ice level or something more darker because it's just yeah too difficult. But then we were saying we want to add variety, of course, and imagine going just through desert. It would be also boring at some point. If you have ever been into a desert, you find a stone, a rock, a cacti, whatever, but then yeah, you wanted to fill and also give reason for the story again, and you see what they are up to, you know, like they're in a mine and what do? They are getting gold, you know, and so you give more reason for the story's background information, what's it all about, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, as you said, just from a practical standpoint, you know, it's important in a stealth game like this to have a lot of dark areas.
Yeah, and the mine,
you just
the
don't
mine
get them
works.
in the desert sun.
No, the mine works very well.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Yeah, and it's again, you know, it's just a fresh look for the new levels. Sure, you could have designed a level that works in the same way. Probably, you could have probably somehow designed the whole game to take place just in the monastery. I guess, well, maybe with the exception of the minecarts, but.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, just a fresh look for the levels, even that alone, you know, just keeps it interesting.
Yep.
So yeah, that makes complete sense.
It also changes because we have desert levels, so sunny ones, but then it's nighttime.
Yeah.
So we use the whole darkness, light,
Yes.
because they have lights that they use. But then we play with that, so everything turns blue, and then there is a very bright spot of a light turning on.
Yeah.
Although you're in the desert, it's still a very good contrast.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll actually get to that during the stream.
Dark level, night level, we should. I think level 16.
We'll see. We'll see.
16, yeah.
We'll see. If not, you know, the game's coming out in less than, well, in just about half an hour.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to go for yourselves and figure out what's going on and explore these dark desert levels. So we'll see how far we get today. Yeah, I mean, one question that's, you know, that might be kind of a mean one, but people really like to know is what was the most difficult part of your journey of developing Hijo? And I'm assuming since you had different sort of jobs at, you know, making the game, that your experience was probably, you know, not the same for both of you. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the diplomatic answer is how to bring all these pieces together. How can you bring the narrative together in a way closer to the gameplay, so that the gameplay doesn't feel that it repeats itself, and also that technically everything doesn't, we don't stumble upon technical performance challenges or whatever by creating large levels, which was something that happened actually during the desert levels, because the desert levels are vast and they were very heavy. So we had to come up with a way to technically to make them playable, to be able to load them. And then we had all these content challenges, narrative challenges of how can we convey the message of the children, for example, that you gradually inspire them and they get gradually more active without any text, without any audio cues. So for me, at least, the biggest challenge was how to bring these all together to something that everything complements each other.
No, I completely agree. Like, I would say the magic word is always compromise. You know, like you need to find the goal of everyone is to deliver a kick-ass game. Everyone the best for Hijo. Everyone wants to have a nice game that people enjoy doing, and being the balance between gameplay, story, and yeah, the technical aspect of the entire thing, or saying also, hey, there's a guy that makes beautiful music, or how does it fit within the game? How does it fit within, yeah, the technical part of it? You need to see that you can create characters that have thousands of polygons, but what is the idea behind it if you can't use them, like, or the game is not smooth enough, or the music doesn't fit, or what, it needs to be a constant compromise, that you want the best for the game. And this is, I think, was for me the challenge, to also let go at some points, that you say, okay, the initial idea was X, but it makes more sense the other way, and that's why you then say, okay, let's do it that way.
Yeah, I can see that.
You turned out with a great soundtrack, though.
Oh yeah,
I have it stuck in my head like all the time.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. I especially love the first few levels. The levels that adapt their sound when you hide, like it's very clearly hearable in the first levels, or perhaps that's where you notice it the most because it's new. And I really like these tunes.
I remember cutting one of the showcase videos for an event, and obviously as I was editing this video for like a whole day, I think, more or less, all the time I heard the soundtrack, I had it stuck in my head for like a week. Always went like
No,
it just works.
That
it works.
I bet you, if he was our composer, he would be really happy to hear that, because he spent so much time in, all these individual characters. Like, this was also something to think about. And people that haven't been working so much with El Hijo, they are like, not like, you will notice if you play it, how the character, like El Hijo has a certain sound, how the monks have a certain sound, how everything in the level is really specific and well composed in that way, like that there's a lot of things that like these little bits and pieces that together with the artwork try to create this entire beautiful picture. And this was always trying to tell, if you were working with new people, that this was our challenge, like to make it not just look beautiful, to make it enjoyable playing, and to make it sound also nice.
I remember I don't know if you know this actually, but one of the monks' voices is actually mine.
Yeah, so, no, we heard you in the last chat. Yeah. I was really like, oh my god.
Yeah, so what happened was our sound engineer, he changed it, like he lowered the pitch, right? So it's not technically my voice. I made the recording, but it's actually lower than my real voice. But it was a funny experience because, again, we've said this earlier, there is no spoken dialogue in the game, right? So basically the challenge was, hey, convey, I don't know, anger or, surprise or whatever emotion just by going like, so we all stood there in front of the microphone and made these weird noises. So, I imagine from an outside perspective, it was probably looking very, very weird. But, through the magic of sound editing and engineering, it works, in the end. And that's
definitely.
That's super cool to see, obviously, when
Here, maybe you want to say quickly that you found a different a toy, a different asset to
Yes.
help you pass the game.
Yeah.
Initially, we were thinking of it's a stink bomb, but then the issue comes up that the people can't smell it. Huh?
Well, true. Who knows where technology will be 10 years from now, but
Yeah.
for now, yeah.
And as you can see, you can use it to like shortly bypass your enemies, so like they will not see you. So that's
Yeah.
pretty much how it works. And I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a
especially
cactus
in,
flower
especially in the dark levels. it looks
that blinds you. Yeah.
Mhm.
Please move, sir.
Yeah, so you can imagine it's sort of like a smoke bomb, I guess, in a
Yeah.
way, in a sense of how it works.
Yep.
So yeah. Can it be used? I don't know this actually. Can it be used to break a line of sight? So
If
you're-
get chased,
if you're already being spotted, can you use it to get away? Or
yeah, if you time it pretty good, then
okay, so it's difficult, but it's
yeah,
possible.
You need
Okay.
to you need to make some pace and then drop
Right.
it, and then you can get away, but
Okay.
not from only from I think miners or monks, because the sheriffs and the bandits are just they're gonna
Right.
get you from a distance.
They're too quick. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's obviously something that I think we already discussed last
I think
week, where the different enemy types or opponent types, they work differently, right? Some of them will chase you, and others will just, as you see, this lady, she has a gun. She'll just point it at you, and
Yeah.
you're kind of, what are you gonna do?
You better stop right
So
there.
you better stop right there when she tells you to. So yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, so you can get away from these guys, I think, but not all. You need a bit of luck. So it's not a gate of a jail free card, but
Right.
you probably should use it beforehand. Like
I mean,
You should
ideally,
know. You should know.
I guess you don't get spotted at all.
yeah, pretty
But
much,
you
yeah.
know,
You can see how often I got spotted today.
Yeah.
I played this quite a lot. So,
yeah, exactly.
It's a part of the achievements, if I remember well, right, Felix?
Yes.
Exactly.
That you get that you pass every level without ever getting spotted.
Whew,
So if you
okay.
manage that, then you get a stamp on that level.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, we
So
could show.
that was one of the things that we're trying to
Yeah.
bring an add-on how to play a level again, which is trying to gather all the children or inspire all the children. I think there are like around 70 across all levels.
Yes, 69, I
Um,
think.
69, yeah. And then to pass all levels without ever getting spotted in that level, which is quite hard actually.
Yes.
I would assume so. Yeah.
You will see it. You will get a stamp on this train ticket here that tells you if you made it
Yeah.
without being spotted.
Yeah. I mean, we're not gonna get it today, probably. Nope. Or yeah, we already got spotted. But yeah, and that goes for every level, I assume.
Yep. You need to get through every level
Yeah.
without being spotted.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but you
Oh.
don't need to do it in a consecutive way. So
Right.
that makes it that you can you'll be able to do it if you try hard enough, and you can start every level again. So it's not if you reach level 9 and you don't make it that you need to start from the beginning again.
Right.
You can go back and do it anytime.
Right.
He lost his pen.
He was so confused.
I'm sorry, sir. Oh,
Yeah. Cool.
All right. New bombs.
Right, and these boxes are containing
Yep.
different kinds of
Yeah, but you
items
also,
that you can use.
And you also get them from children sometimes. They will give you, if you help them, they will give you some toys. And for the cactus flower, you can also find them like scattered throughout the desert sometimes. If I find one, I will show you. But they're not only in boxes, they're also just standing around because obviously in the desert there will be flowers.
Yeah, makes sense.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
Like just for the children development, as Yanis was mentioning, that it was really difficult to show that they're becoming more proactive because as you might know, Elijo, his main challenge is, of course, to find his mother. But on a side quest, pretty much, the more he talks to the children in the levels, they will become more active. And at the beginning, they are more scared. They won't move, like they won't do a lot of stuff. But later on, they will actually help Elijo in the levels to pass the puzzles. So when Elijo interacts with them, he frees them or he helps them, then they will move a box or will help him to progress in the game.
Yep.
Yeah, so the beginning is just like usually they're folding laundry or something and you help them and they start, maybe they juggle, or maybe if one is very antsy. Oh, there's a cactus flower right there, by the way.
There is
like
one.
This is one where you can find the bomb throw. And later in level, like you said, they start shooting fireworks, or they, like you said, they move some levers for you, or push stuff out of the way for you. So in the end, they're really helping you quite a lot. It's very interesting.
Yeah, and then, I mean, actually, I'm not gonna say that. I was like, it's not really a spoiler, but I'll just no, never mind.
Just leave it. Leave it out there.
You'll find out for yourselves. No, we don't want to spoil anything. I mean,
After all, it's very story dependent. Like I wouldn't say story dependent, but there's quite a story to discover.
It's a story-driven game,
yeah,
so
you don't want to spoil it.
Yeah. Of course. So yeah, no, I'm just gonna keep it to myself, and we're good.
The next level is gonna be the dark level already. So
okay. All right. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, these are already, compared to last week's stream, these levels are already way bigger.
Yeah, we did like 7 levels in the same time.
Yeah, yeah. So, which again, obviously makes sense from a game design standpoint. I would say that
it's just getting difficult.
Yeah,
like,
as
also,
you get used to the mechanics and to how everything works, you want a more difficult challenge.
Yeah, and it's also fitting through with the story, right? The more stuff you unravel, the more difficult your enemy is going to be. The more challenging level is going to be. It's just the way it's going to be. The way it is.
Yeah, makes complete sense. Talking about the enemies, or generally the puzzles, was it difficult for you guys to sort of figure out a good balance, difficulty-wise? So finding a good middle ground of the game being challenging, because obviously you don't want people to just walk through it and not have to think at all. But at the same time, you don't want to make it too difficult, so it's not frustrating at any point, right?
And on top of that is the aesthetics.
Yes. Yeah.
You can't imagine how many times we made because we said, all tables can't be on one side, but it makes so much fun gameplay-wise.
Yeah.
But it looks shit, It is really. It was quite a challenge.
I can imagine. Yeah.
To keep it nicely looking as well at the same time, but having the gameplay fun.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, it still has to make sense. Yeah. Of course. I mean, at least to a certain point. Obviously, the game's not hyper realistic or anything, but it's a game at the end of the day. But in its own realm, it has to sort of make be continuous and make sense. And yeah, I can imagine. You can't just say, let's just have 17 enemies sitting at one table that's meant for 4 people, because otherwise it's too easy. That just doesn't work. Yeah. Makes complete sense. Yeah.
Right, now
okay, here we are. So now we're in the dark desert.
Yep.
And already I like it.
Oh, damn, I missed my entry.
The thing is now again, I think we also said this last time, in here where we're sitting with the studio lights, it is very difficult to actually see what's happening on the screen.
It's so bright. And
because there's like three super bright lights shining down on us.
Yeah.
So it's super hard to actually see at least for me, you're a bit closer to the screen, so maybe that's easier but still, yeah. And it is very dark.
Is this
in the
your
dark
excuse,
areas.
Felix?
Maybe. Maybe. I didn't get caught yet, so
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
That's
see.
what I
Maybe
thought.
this is the level. Maybe this is the level where you don't get caught.
maybe we can make it. Yeah.
Maybe we'll see.
What's your while we're talking levels? What's your favorite level, guys?
Ooh.
Do you guys have favorite levels that I don't know was most fun to design or most fun for you to play now?
It's difficult, huh?
I can imagine.
Yeah, like for me, it's every different environment has its favorites. You know, like in the monastery, it's really nice with the library because the look of it, like, and it's like I like that one, but it's also like with the mother is also a bit different than to everything. Or like as you see here, the darkness in the desert is also fairly nice. Like I think I could say every level is my is my favorite, but is I think we spend so much time with it that you need to like it because otherwise you go nuts, you know.
Or you
And
don't
so-
like anything?
or you don't like any.
Either one or the other.
I hope you don't. I hope it's not the other. What about you?
No.
What about you?
My favorite one is the 29th. I think Felix too, right?
Yeah, I've liked 29 a lot, and I also like the labyrinth level just from an aesthetic wise.
The monastery labyrinth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just looks pretty cool. I think this green labyrinth is
Yep.
one of my favorite levels.
Mm.
Yeah, true.
I think it's the first level you are outside that
Mhm.
makes it nice. You know,
Yeah.
you are inside the entire time, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
you are really outside it, with
Yes.
like in the sun.
And also with that, I mean, even in the monastery, you already get this sense of you're in the desert, right? Although you're still in the compound, you know, you can see outside the windows sometimes, and you already get that sort of that sandy color palette. And then you go outside, and there's this green labyrinth, which just breaks up that. Yeah, I'm almost monotony color-wise, right? Feels very good. Just yeah, as you said, aesthetically, it's a very nice level. Yeah.
And 29 as well. Yeah, 29 is. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but 29
Yeah.
is like a whole different level with a very different mechanic, but it's
Yeah.
a lot of fun actually.
Well,
Yeah, it's
not Donkey
fantastic.
Kong though.
Sorry.
It's not Donkey Kong. What?
it's not. No.
Yeah, it's not the. It's different mechanics, but not Donkey Kong mechanics.
No, it's not Donkey Kong. It's not drunk Donkey Kong. I kind of want to rescue that child back there, give him his toy back, but well,
The question is, what is more important to you, finding all the children or not getting spotted this time?
yeah,
You know, sometimes.
I gotta make sacrifices.
Yeah,
So where's that
can't win them all. Nice, good
Like
timing.
this part, I always
Uh-oh.
fail. Please,
So,
please walk there.
how do you get past him? Ah, okay, I see. Yeah.
No,
Nah, you're fine. Ooh. No, you're good.
first try.
Easy.
Let's go. Hey, there's the stand now on the right side.
Ah, yes.
Ooh, nice.
So that
Yeah.
icon is okay. I see.
Yep.
And if you now check the
If I would
the little
yeah,
tickets,
if I were to check that ticket, I would see it.
so you can keep track of which levels you,
Yep.
you know, you finish certain challenges, and
Yeah, see, there's
Yeah,
the
there you
stand on
go.
the top right corner.
Yep.
And there's no stand right here. So
it also shows you how many kids
Yep.
you've inspired.
yes,
Cool. All right.
so you can go achievement hunting.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right, front flip into level 17.
Okay. I'd say this is probably the last one we're gonna show.
Yeah, it's pretty long level too. So that's
So
pretty
yeah,
interesting
and
also.
again, you know, we're now getting into the territory of, you know, not spoilers yet, really, but I mean, if you just show the levels individually, I guess they're relatively safe to show almost all of them. But you know, we don't want to take away from the player's experience out there.
leave
So,
some for you guys
Yeah.
to enjoy.
and again, it's less than 15 minutes until release. Hello. Hello.
This is so exciting.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. How long have you been working on this overall? Like when, from the first time you had the idea, you know, El Hijo of this game, and then until today?
Yeah,
4 years.
It was 4 years.
4 years?
4 years, yeah.
That's a long
But
time.
you need to also think that you start the production really slow. Like
Of course.
constant work 4 years on the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the last 2 years were the most intense ones, and before that it was on and off and working working parts of the team quite full on it.
Mm-hmm.
No, Yanis, or maybe I try to stop thinking about it. You know.
It's a mental exercise, right? Our brain tends to remember the nice parts only.
True.
Only the good things. Yeah.
Well, that's good though, because that keeps you motivated for the next project, right?
Exactly.
If you remember that,
Exactly.
what a struggle it has
You
been.
see, this is also a nice level because bisons.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Hey,
right. Yeah,
look
bisons.
at them, huh? How
Yeah.
beautiful they are.
Bison guy, please come back, sir.
We need you.
I need your assistance here. Big fella. Yeah, and he's also like breathing heavily, so
Very relatable.
very relatable with that weight in the desert.
Me on Monday mornings. Oh. No.
Uh-oh.
He's not wearing a hat though.
Oh. Wait,
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
True.
everyone in this game has a hat, but the bison doesn't have one.
Poor guy.
Bison.
Oh, that was close.
Oh, planned.
The chickens are
Yeah.
not always your friend.
Yeah, actually, they screwed me over a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I've been caught by chickens a lot of times because I just run into people and scare them, and then they look for me, and then I get caught.
They're a cool addition though. They're in a way unpredictable, right? Obviously, you know how they're gonna react, but their walking paths are less predictable than the humans.
Yep.
And they then, in turn, sort of alert the humans to your presence, which I find an interesting and a cool idea because, you can learn almost any opponent's path that they're taking, right?
Usually, yeah.
Maybe there's exceptions. I'm not sure, but the chickens, they're just all over the place. They're really difficult to consistently avoid.
Yeah,
But
they
you
can
can
help
take
you, but
revenge
they
on
can
them.
also
Yeah.
yeah, the revenge.
You can take revenge though later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shouldn't spoil that. Maybe I don't know.
I mean, we've already.
No, it was already a trailer, huh?
Yeah, we've already.
You
Ah,
know
yeah.
what happens to them.
Yeah, we've already shown. Well, we're not going to tell it right now,
No.
but people will find out. There is footage. There is proof out there
Yes.
of what's happening.
Proof of revenge.
Yeah.
But you can also use them. Like,
Yeah, that's the other thing. What's cool about them? You can actually use them to your advantage and have them alert people to their position.
yeah, it works.
So they work both ways.
I imagine it might actually be a better speedrunning tactic to just kind of not kick but push a chicken into a direction of an enemy that he usually cannot pass. But when he runs, when he searches for the chicken, you can pass him. I think there might be cases where that works.
Probably, yeah.
I have passed enemies by just pushing chickens into them. So
Yeah.
it works. But
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes total sense. Chickens ROP confirmed. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
this
they are.
level, if you've seen the last stream, you might recognize this level
Ah, yes.
because that is the same level that we were in with the mother,
Mm-hmm.
and where we kind of like got some revenge on on the bandits. So now you can see that I think you could see all the triggers we activated with the mother, and you can see like the leftovers still on top of the screen and to the top left of the screen. So yeah, you keep coming back to places. Like you don't keep coming back, but there's some places where you will visit where your mom has been before, so you kind of notice that you're in the same area as her.
But you have to go about it differently. Because number one, it is now nighttime.
Yes.
And number two, you have another skill set.
Yep, and the place doesn't look the same because, like,
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of blew it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly the same, but you recognize the area. Yeah.
That's the bison.
No, that was the intent with it, you know, like to see that you have something as, I think Felix or Konzi, I don't know who said it, that the place where your mother was before, just a few moments or a few days maybe, you know, so you're really close behind her pretty much. And, also like to play with it, how can we make the same level but harder, you know, and not the same.
Yeah.
Same but different.
Same but different, yeah. Yeah. And of course, it's also, as you said, it's not exactly the same.
And just because it just came to my mind, I know there's Steam pages that review games on can you pet the dog? And I just want to state that you can pet the bison. So
You can.
if that's not a bonus point right here, then like, can't pet the dog, but can pet the bison. So that's gotta count.
Just in case you're wondering, yeah.
Hey, how many games are there where you can pet the bison, you know?
It should be a bonus point for if you're watching Steam Creator Group, can you pet the dog? You can pet the bison.
Yeah. And here we go.
Go on around.
Another one. Perfect level. Awesome.
Yeah, and these.
Wow, I'm proud. Felix, well done.
These stamps or marks that you can gather, they will, I think Maria touched on it briefly, they will be used to unlock stuff in the gallery. In the gallery, I think it shows pictures from your development process, right? It shows like artworks that you did and concepts that you did, and I think it's a very, very fun insight. I think there's also stuff that was ideas before but has not made it into the game, right?
Exactly.
And it's very interesting to see where it's also a touch on what you said, that there were ideas that have changed over the duration of the 4 years.
Yeah, awesome.
Like it's as we were trying to say before, that you have like this connection between getting things for the gallery, so unlock there. You in the last level, depending on the amount of children you are unlocking, it changes as well, you know. And I need to go and get the door. Sorry for this. I'm there in a moment.
Don't worry. Maybe, you know, as we said, we've gotten kind of a peek at the next level. I'd say we leave it here, gameplay wise, but maybe we can. Will we already have unlocked one or two of these artworks to maybe have a look at those?
Yeah, and also a little cliffhanger right here, because you cannot shoot this yet.
Well, we've already seen Mother
She can
shoot the locks, but Hijo is not able to.
All right.
So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we've already unlocked some of the artworks.
Like we have, I can just show you how many there are. Like there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
You should show Hijo in his cactus suit.
Yeah.
This was.
That's actually a nice idea.
This was like one of the best ideas we had, but somehow it didn't work out in the end.
Yeah.
How do you get him? We had a walking bush, and we had him like really having different outfits in order to blend in more with the environment. The idea was, how can you hide in plain sight was the topic. And so we said, oh, he has a cactus suit, you know.
Of course.
We wanted to keep it for the mother. It didn't work either. So.
But the mechanic of hiding in plain sight is still part of the game. So.
And I think the bush would have worked pretty well too. The bush looks really fun. Like just a little bush with legs.
With legs and
Hello
eyes,
there.
yeah. And then another one that was interesting to me was if you go back, and I think one or two down, yeah, that one. I'm assuming this is one of the, as you said earlier, where he maybe hit his head and then has a weird dream. Is that what's going on here, or what are we looking at?
We had different vultures. So when you walk in the desert, shadows, you know, and then you have the big birds flying, and then you can either hide in the shadow, but that was the problem with the concept. And in the end, that shadows are good. You can hide in them. Now you can't turn it in the desert. That is something dangerous, because if it's a vulture, that you, yeah, they will attack you. You know, it will be your enemy. They won't be your friends. And so that's why we had to come up with something different there too. But the idea was here to have a 2D game, and where you you have to avoid the shadows actually.
So a whole different game layout, kind of.
Yeah, we didn't want to frustrate you even more.
I'm not frustrated. I think it turned out very good, the game.
Yeah.
I really like it.
I mean, of course, as any game, you know, especially as a lead tester, you see the game at its worst before you see it at its best, right? Because that's what you're here to do.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Like,
there's
help you guys get the best of
there has yet to be a game that is bug-free from the start.
Yeah, that's developed.
That's not happening.
Probably.
No. But I think it turned out well.
I think it did too.
I think it is in a very good spot. I think it's a great, unique experience.
And you can notice that you guys really put your heart and soul into this game. Like, you really notice. I'm just going to turn the volume a little bit, because the menu is pretty loud.
The music in the menu, yeah.
It's good though.
And personally, I mean, that's always up to personal preference, I guess. But I personally like the art style a lot.
Me too.
You know, especially the cutscenes. To
Yeah.
me are fantastic, and
From the cutscene.
and these relatively simply drawn characters, right? They're very cartoonish in the way they look, but they convey so much emotion, and yeah, that's very well done.
For example, I think this, just to touch on it real quick, is the first level we played today, the cemetery, and I think this is probably your level design picture, right? Your mock-up on how you wanted the level to look, and which...
Exactly, it was the concept for it.
And it looks pretty much exactly like it does here. So they worked
Pretty much,
out pretty
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Some minor differences, I guess.
We were quite good. If you have a look at the level designers, they were suffering a lot with the concept art, because we said no, it should look like this. Huh? But in the end, Seth and Vincent have done a great job, and the programmers with Stefan and Lucas are also fantastic. And hey, the artwork with Juan, hey, we're really proud. Huh? We're really happy that the team made such a nice, such a nice job, and it was really fun.
Absolutely.
And also the thanks to you guys for killing us.
Well, you know.
I mean, yeah, at this point, like, kudos to all the other teams. It's just two of you guys, and but there's way more people at Honig Studios who work very hard on this. So, a little shout out from Maria, well deserved, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well done. Very well done. And yeah, of course, there's been, you know, of course there's been bugs and issues with the game, and then it's been our job to, you know, kind of annoy you guys with those and be like, hey, well, we need this fixed. But at the end of the day, I think we worked well as a team, all of us, all of you, obviously, as well. And at the end of the day, everybody wanted the best for El Hijo.
We did it.
And it is now 5 o'clock.
Good timing.
Now,
Ui.
1 second before you get too excited. The game is
a red button to press, or how does it work?
well,
I think we have someone pressing the
Who has the launch code?
I think there should be someone who's
fanfare.
who's reliable. Who's reliable
You
enough
arrived on time.
with these secrets. But yeah, the game should go live any second now. It is a, you know, depending on what's going on behind the scenes, it could take another 5 minutes or so for it to actually go live on each platform. but you know, within 5 minutes or so, it should be available for you guys out there to play on Steam, on GOG, and on Google Stadia tonight or today if you're in Hawaii or wherever. Enjoy the game. Enjoy El Hijo. Thank you all for watching. It is online, I've been told, on Twitch, so looking good.
Nice.
So that worked.
All systems are go.
You know, that's also fun fact. That's also something that we've had issues before in the past with other games where we're like, hey, it's live now, and then actually it didn't go live for another like half an hour or so because there were issues, somewhere in the back end. But no, El Hijo is out. El Hijo is out. Congratulations, guys. And
I think I have a heart attack.
and I mean, now all we can really do is wait for, all the feedback to roll in and see what people like, where people, that's also something that is to be expected, where people will find some issues that we didn't find, for example, right? Because obviously now there's going to be a lot more people playing it, and I mean the work's not done. The work's not done. There's gonna be some.
It starts now.
Yeah. But obviously this is a very big milestone, and I think, congratulations, very well deserved. It's a great game, and people have been waiting for it as well. People have been anticipating El Hijo for a while, and So if you're watching right now, now's the time. Now's the time to go out there and get it.
Like you said, the guys, you will be on the ready to jump on every issues if they come up. But other than that, I think you can grab maybe a little something like to toast on the release now.
Of course.
A little release party.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, within the guidelines. Because that's the timeline we live in currently. But
absolutely. And anyone playing, we really hope you enjoy it. And we're really looking forward to any kind of feedback that will help us to make the game even better, because as I said, there will still work to be done.
Yeah, we also just take positive feedback. So if you guys are just happy with it, we also glad.
I mean, of course. If it's perfect as it is, sure. But if there's any ideas, feel free to contact us on Discord, the developers as well. Everybody's on our official Handy Games Discord. Shoot us an email, write reviews, and we'll see.
We will read all of them,
and we will make El Hijo the best game that it can be. And I think with that, enjoy the game. Maria, Yannis, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
Again, congratulations and enjoy it. Well,
you too.
Almost your weekend, but there's one more day to go. And
at least the release,
at least the release. Enjoy it. Tell everybody on the team, congratulations. It's been a wild ride, and we got there. We're proud. We're proud to be a part of it. Awesome.
Yes,
and we'll see you out there next time. Have fun playing El Hijo. Out now. Now. Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.